Chubb going after his 14th straight game of 100 yards or more, and this is not a promising start. And Nick Chubb is still down.
Yeah, and that's a nightmare scenario for Georgia fans. Remember, it was on this field 2 years ago that Keith Marshall was injured, and the finish of that run is scary. It looked like he hyperextended his leg as he stuck. Watch him try to get it.
Yep.
Oh no, the left knee.
Oh no is right. That left knee that he hyperextends right about here. That's a torn PCL, LCL, and MCL that put him out for the year. Nick Chubb, the back that Leonard Fournette said had a better freshman year than he did, out of Georgia. Powerful, quick, great balance, great agility. And his season ended on the first play of the Tennessee game. The saving grace for Chubb is that he didn't tear his ACL, and he had a successful surgery and rehab. He did some martial arts training as well as training with the track team. And when he returned to Georgia camp, he's squatting 585 pounds. By comparison, as a frame of reference, Tennessee Titans' Derrick Henry, when he was at Alabama, they show him on YouTube squatting 500 pounds. So Nick Chubb was ready physically. At least it looked that way. Oftentimes, though, squatting weights is different than, carrying defenders on your back. So we're going to take a look at Chubb against North Carolina in the opener of 2016 because I think it's a good way for us to gauge where he was with his knee, how confident he was in it, his conditioning and rehab, and just to see really what should be his worst effort of the season, right? Because, he's still coming back and probably has some rust. Well, I've got something in store for you. Let's check this out. First play of the game. Follows his pulling blocker 54. Dips downhill. Nice little quick cut downhill to work inside of that pulling block. Gets his feet up and over to avoid any reach. And then watch him make this 90-degree turn to the outside to try and avoid this safety. Does a pretty good job of that. And watch him land the stiff arm to finish here on the defensive back. He's the aggressor, right into the chest. Pulls that head back with the hit. Now the defender's able to pull him down, but he's able to get 2 extra yards off of that. You're looking at a 6-yard gain. His first carry back after tearing 3 ligaments. See a little fancy footwork. See a good little dip outside. Patient run. Good attack at the end. Nicely done. Next play. Now you notice here that North Carolina is playing stacked boxes, and you're going to see that much of this game because Georgia's formations are tight. They're saying, we're going to run it down your throat. We've got Nick Chubb back. We feel like he's ready. Carry count, touch count, whatever. We're going to have Nick Chubb bounce it outside on you and accelerate past your defensive back and give a little punishment to the cornerback to let him know towards the end of this game that you don't want any of him as the game goes on. But watch him follow this pulling block. He works it inside first. And that's the thing that you want to notice is that he is trying to press it inside to 53 just enough so that he gets the defense at least staying in the middle a little bit and hesitating before he bounces it back outside. And he's got that burst to beat 23 to the edge. That's nice on a 2nd and 4 against a stacked box to be able to do that. Runs completely past him. And then gives a little bit of that forearm to finish. It's nicely done. That's the kind of plays that you want to see from a back. The confidence to be able to bounce plays outside. No rust to be able to press it inside and bounce it back out. It's really good stuff from a back coming back from that injury. We'll see a lot more of that. I'm just going to stop talking about his injury because really you're going to see, let's just talk about how good of a prospect he is because that's what he's showing here. Pass protection, corner blitz. It's tipped off pretty early before the snap. Watch him take that deep step inside. That deep step inside is important because it eliminates that inside potential rush for the edge man. He has to go outside with that. And then he's able to square, work with his hands kind of more in an uppercut fashion. He doesn't give a great punch, but he's got good position. Then he's able to lock on and push. And if he does that against linebackers, against some defensive linemen, you're looking at a top-notch pass blocker if he's able to do that. That's something that we're going to want to study more with this film and other places, and how he progresses this year as well. But position, reading the defense, executing with decent technique, all there right now. Once again, we're looking at 8 men in the box. And we have ourselves kind of a delay with a fullback lead. And watch him manipulate this, because you're going to have number 54, the center here, working the double team with the left guard up to the middle linebacker, or to this outside linebacker, excuse me. And then you have the fullback working outside to this defensive back. Chubb is going to take a little bit of a dip outside to the left that allows the block by the center to set up against this linebacker, because the linebacker has to honor that crease to the outside, as well as the edge player here against the fullback. And Chubb dibs it back inside, gets his pads downhill, gains a quick 3 to 4, drags the defensive tackle down for more. Looking at a nice gain on 2nd and 12 to set up a manageable 3rd down. Now we're looking at 7 men in the box here. This is one of those plays where you do have a 21 personnel against 7 men in the box. And obviously he's going to have a nice advantage here. But the blocking works out pretty well in terms of, doesn't work out very well here. You're going to see the defensive tackles be able to shed, and each are able to wrap. And you're looking at about maybe a 4-yard gain here. Now here's a nice run blitz by the middle linebacker. He gets into the backfield immediately. And Chubb really has no choice other than here to try and string it outside and get downhill as quick as possible, at least once he gets to the edge. But it's a 5-yard loss. There's not much you can do there with that. That's not really an indication of speed or burst on his part, because when you're taking an exchange and a linebacker's 1 yard away from you, most backs are going to be caught here. Let's move forward. 2 pullers. See that little hesitation here on this play? Watch the little hesitation with his footwork right there. That's because he's looking outside to see if he can bounce that outside. He sees that it's not going to happen because an unblocked man's there, and he puts his nose back inside, keeps his pads low enough, and you can see his helmet emerge right here. He's a yard downfield, is able to push and get about 3 on the play. That's a nice play for a well-contained run effort by the North Carolina defense. It's a mature run. He's not rusty there. And one of the things you're going to like about Chubb as you watch this game more and more is that he knows when to stick his nose in there and just push behind his blockers to get what's available rather than try too hard to create that's not. Not an unbelievable block against this defensive end, but he's able to get his hands out. He's able to deliver a little bit of a push, and he slows it down. Let's get back to some running. Not much there on 3rd down, but again, we're looking at a stacked front. How many men do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the box. And he works outside or inside to the outside, quick enough to be able to fall forward through that, despite 36 coming down the line to wrap him at the line of scrimmage. Just quick enough. Again, good little adjustments at the line of scrimmage. A little hop, variation of pace to work out, to work to the right, to the left, to press and cut that outside. And look at him bounce off of a hit right here. Off of a hit to his hip. Continues down the field. He gets wrapped right here by the middle linebacker. And watch him carry this middle linebacker about 10 yards. Nice play. And we're going to see on top of that, in addition to him getting carried down by the middle linebacker, number 12 here, face masks Chubb at the end of this, right here. And that gets called. We're going to watch it right at the end here. I mean, we're looking at strength. Looking at a guy, look at that. He gets hit in the head right there by number 10. Covers up pretty well. And then here comes number 12 coming around. Only pull on that face mask a little bit to make sure you get down. Because you're making my friend number 10 look kind of bad here. Looks like you're moving him to Athens on your back. Another really smart play. Short yardage plays should tell you a lot about a player and how healthy they are to get back, because you got to do a lot in a short period of time. Make these dynamic little changes of direction. And the fact that he has the burst to make this little jump cut, to work outside the penetration, back inside behind the seal here, and then just get downhill and get his nose into the backs of his linemen to push. That's smart stuff. It's a subtle run, but you have that penetration here, gets outside of that, knows he's got to get back around here because that's the way the play is going to develop. He's going to have two unblocked defenders right here, and he just noses it back inside because he knows he only has a half yard. He can get behind that red and push it. It's a very smart play, underrated agility that you need for this type of a play. And we're going to see it in action as you see the tight end work across on kind of a wind back here. And they're going to seal this right side of the Georgia offensive line. But that nice little cut there. To get back downhill. And then just push his way through. Doesn't look rusty conceptually to me. We've seen him run some plays that are man plays, some gap plays here. Showing some speed to the outside. Little one-on-one action against the defensive back and is able to get inside of him to turn this into a 4-yard gain. This could very easily have been a loss. I mean, right here, he could have, if he was not ready, if he was notably slower, this penetration here probably wraps him up for a 4-yard loss. Instead, he gets outside. He's got a one-on-one. Outside in. Gets downhill. Now he splits the linebacker and the cornerback and pushes his way for about 4 on a play where he could have lost a lot more than that. Looks ready to me. Agility, quickness, power, conceptually understanding what his blocking scheme's doing, being mature about when he should bounce outside, when he should stay inside. And Georgia's like, we're just going to keep feeding the dog. 2nd and 6, only 2 yards here, but again, how many guys are in the box? Oh, let's go ahead and bring up 8 in the box. Now he cuts this inside. Why does he do that on a gap play? Why does he cut it back to the opposite side? Well, for one, he reads 53 here, and he sees the position of these helmets to the inside and tries to bounce it outside to take what he can get. He's more natural of a zone runner, if you ask me. Probably not the most mature play for him on that, but still kept it inside to get positive yards. And that's what you want to see, especially in some of these organized scrums of where you have, 10 men in the box. Little stride variation. Set up your block, get inside. And then just push for what you can get. 2 to 3, not bad. Sometimes you got to take that when you're just being a power running team here. Keep it inside and push like that. Know that he's disciplined about staying inside. Then when you run that toss outside, you're going to get those big gaps. He's going to get downhill. That burst is looking pretty good there for 10 yards. He's able to run through a wrap from 90. And we're still in the first quarter. Everybody should be pretty fresh, right? Yeah, it's going to be a long day. Long day with Mr. Chubb running downhill on you. Running from 13 personnel sets, 22 personnel sets, even 21 personnel sets. He's going to wear these guys out. ISO working downhill. Look at him bounce off these two guys. Look at that. Number 10, middle linebacker, hits him and reaches him for the thigh there. Spins off some of that. Takes a hit there from the outside linebacker. Now you can't hear it from this replay, but this hit from the outside linebacker coming inside here was harder than it may have looked here. You could actually hear the sound of the hit on this play where he hits him and spins off. Balance is still there. The anticipation to be able to spin off of that wrap from the middle linebacker right here. He's able to plant, hit with that inside shoulder, spin off of that, use a little bit of that stiff arm there, that baby stiff arm, as Marshawn Lynch would often say. It's looking good. Stack boxes, tight formations, seeing them bounce plays outside. I mean, look at that. We're talking about a cornerback here working inside that receiver. Look at that. Nice job getting inside there. Chubb's ready for it. Look at that nice cut outside there for a 228-pound back. And then be able to get outside the safety. Little stiff arm, perfectly placed right in the chops. See that helmet go back? Yeah, that's enough right there to get that corner. 8-yard gain. Love plays like this because you're looking at kind of more of a zone, working inside, reads what's there, but tries to get as close as he can inside to let that cornerback get baited. And then look at the turn of the hips. It's in the hips and the ankles. That hip and ankle flexion is good. The knee's strong enough to support that. Bye-bye. Let me turn on some jets just enough. And if that doesn't work, let me put the flipper out there and hit that pinball. Knock it back into the side. Good job. A little more of a wind back play. I mean, look at this. Stumbles a little bit right there because he wants to, he reads the defense. He sees the helmets inside here and then breaking this one outside, this one inside. So he sees it the right side. He's got to cut back towards the middle. He anticipates this defender coming clean through the middle, and he cuts back inside of him. Uses the little baby stiff arm, runs through the wrap. Another nice little cut, and then just pushes the defense another 3 yards. Yeah. When big old Nick Chubb, 228, hits 195, 200, 205-pound number 2 in the chest and just starts pushing, you're going to get 3 yards. And again, I like these plays. They're not exciting from the standpoint of yardage gained, but Georgia pushes back the line of scrimmage. He knows what he has here. He doesn't try to get too creative to bounce things outside. I'd see guys like Alvin Kamara do this all the time. Oh, I got to push, but there might be a guy on the edge. I can kind of get outside and take this 50 yards to the house. Well, yeah, that might happen. But how about just getting downhill, setting up your blocks here just like that, and getting your nose in there? 2nd and 6. That's not bad. I'll take 2nd and 6 all day. Especially when you got a team committed to running like this. even against defenses that are saying, yeah, well, you're going to play these tight formations. We're going to put a ton of men in the box to try and stop you. And it ain't working. You can see these gaps are getting a little wider. Sets up an easy 3rd and 1. Is he able to get it? Not so easy. You can see here that gets met pretty well at the line of scrimmage, but you know, he picks a hole. He reads his blocks where he needs to read them, and I'll show you why. You got a double team here. They've got a decent push. He sees that coming, so he tries to dip it back inside there. And obviously, as he's making that decision, you can see that the line of scrimmage is not soft here. It's being pushed back. It just happens to be good timing from the outside linebacker to push back there and keep him from being able to get through that crease. It's well done by North Carolina. You're not going to get them all. Considering how many he's gotten thus far in this game, got to feel pretty good about what he's done. Another toss play. Well-blocked toss play right here to begin. It's not ideally blocked, I guess. You see 49 coming down the line, but he's able to dip back inside 54. And turn that into a positive gain. And we're looking at a 4-yard gain here where it could have been stopped right about here for 1-2. But look at that power. Number 23 tries to hold on here and wrap him. Yeah, he's going to get pulled back. Now 49 of North Carolina, that big old hoss hitting number 23. Kind of friendly fire there. That's going to be part of that. You know, part of that's to blame for the fact that Chubb's able to push the defense back. Again, another mature run. What are you going to do here? Power right. 73 is getting pushed back in the backfield. 72 completely misses the block, so you got 49 bearing down. Got 2 defensive backs in good range and a defensive back also coming in through here. So you 2 linemen and a back. Line of scrimmage is 3 yards behind at this point, and he's able to push this forward. Pick the right spot to turn this into a 2-3 yard gain. Smart running. Tough running. That's why a team looks at a guy like Chubb and says, you know what? We can let him carry the load 20, 25 times because he's not going to screw it up by trying to make daring plays all the time. When they're not there, he's going to keep us in position where we can continue to run it or play the short passing game. And when an opportunity presents itself to bounce it outside, because he's tried it inside and saw something there, all right, he's got the speed to do that. Let's take that corner. And here it is from the end zone view. You can see he sees that little split. Sees the defender's head start to come to the outside, so he tries to work it back to this gap, but it's covered by the defensive back. He doesn't try to get too cute with it because he knows he's got a defender outside here. He just tries to ram it in there. That's the smart thing to do. This is mature running. It's not pretty. Doesn't show up in the box score, but this is what you're supposed to do when you have a defender on the outside with contain and you see that crease coming open because that helmet by the linebacker right here is on the outside. He can't take this crease. This is unblocked. This is compromised to the right side. This crease looks pretty good right here until he sees that head come over. Bounces it outside. Then tries to work back inside of it. It's nothing there because he knows he's not going to get anything here yet. So he lowers the pads. He's got good balance good direct balance right here, and that's where that direct balance can pay off, not just by running over people, but being able to bounce off hits like this. See that he ends up creating his own open crease, and the acceleration is good enough that, I created my own bounce out opportunity. Well done, Nick Chubb. Well done. We get a little pistol action. We've got two pullers over to the right here. Nice patient approach to the outside. Works that outside shoulder a little bit with a little nudge, and then dips it back inside, setting it up. It's not a big gain. 2nd and 9. You're in a trip set. 7 men basically in the box. It's well defended. But he gets what he can. I like the play. Maturity. Maturity mixed with big play ability. He's more of a load carrier than he is a big play hoss on a regular basis right now, at least from what we're seeing. But, you know, they're not spreading the field out either. Good cut downhill. Take what you can get, folks. All right, we got ourselves power a little bit, or a trap. We'll trap inside. And look at him set up 26. Coming downhill here up the hash. Sets him outside, dips it back in. Keeps those legs moving. We're looking about 3 yards. Not bad. Look at him take that hit from number 10. That's a pretty big dude there. Getting the pads underneath there. Chubb's able to get that first down anyway. Getting the tough yards, folks. Getting the tough yards. And you can see Georgia's been behind in this game. They stuck to the run because they're like, look, we've got the workhorse. We can keep this game tight. We can control the ball. We're going to wear these guys out. Second and 4, sets up a 3rd and 1. Good low pad level, not bad. Let's see what that 3rd and 1 looks like here. Is he able to get it? Get confident in that toss play. Doesn't look like they should have been. You're going to run toss on 3rd and 1 right over here like that? Well, didn't work out for him this time. But he tries to take what he can get downhill. That also was a little too fancy for my taste. Try to give that little toss and then wind back to the outside, but 53 isn't blocked here. He isn't having any of it against a undersized tight end. It's perfect by 53 to get under that shoulder. Look at that. 53 just kind of rips upward through that shoulder. Look at the right arm. Kind of rip up. Well done. Chubb still gets a couple yards on it, though. These are body blows. And when you can avoid getting knocked out, and you've got the body blows, you're going to wear people down. Tell me that isn't some wearing down going on right here. The line of scrimmage is 2, 3, 4 yards pushed backwards as he's entering this crease. That allows him to get downhill, one-on-one with a safety. No, with the middle linebacker, one-on-one with this linebacker. He's able to push off of him, Yeah, that's power. Look at him. Perfect pad level. Gets that head up. Once he makes that hit, the head goes up. Keeps driving. Gets a little push, a little help from his offensive lineman. 8-yard gain, first down. Nicely done. Wearing these guys out. Power play. All right, we got a little bit of a penalty going on there. Let's look at this toss. Look at how big this crease is. But I want you to notice not just this crease, but I want you to notice this cornerback at the left hash that I'm circling at the 48. Because Chubb's going to run through one wrap, a second wrap, a little bit of a reach there. First down. Here's the cornerback. End of the game. Chubb not fast enough. Chubb's conditioning not good enough. Looks pretty good to me. It's not an ideal angle here. But you can see number 8 speed up. He's trying to catch him. Just not going to happen. Number 6, excuse me. Can't tell my 6s and 8s right here. We're talking about a guy who's carried the ball over 20 times in this game. Over 200 yards in this game now. 55-yard touchdown. And is the top-notch speed maybe back? May not be. Kind of debatable. When you're able to outrun a defensive back or a cornerback and the cornerback closes on you like that, that's still pretty darn good for a 228-pound back. It's even better when you consider the fact that he's torn 3 knee ligaments and had cartilage damage 10 months ago from this game. I like what I see, folks. Nick Chubb is still the best back in college football, if you ask me, when it comes to the prospects who are eligible for the draft this year. I know that he had some issues down the stretch. The Georgia offensive line had some issues down the stretch. But when you look at what Chubb has done coming back in this game, the power, the maturity, the vision, the agility to bounce things at 90-degree angles, the burst to be able to get outside on defensive backs, and then even maintain your pace with a cornerback coming down the field and a score from 55 yards out. This guy's a complete package in terms of physical ability. I'm looking forward to watching him again his senior year at Georgia. I have a feeling that while many people like Saquon Barkley, and for good reason, I'm all about this guy. Thanks again for watching. For more RSP Boiler Room videos and Film Room videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, the RSP Film Room, and my blog, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com.